What is going on, folks? It is I, Randy, with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic video today. We are playing Sea of Conquest Pirate War, and this video is going to feature the Season 2 build for Blazing and Burning. I will also talk about the free-to-play and tentative Season 1 build, so get excited for that. We're going to keep this video as short and sweet as I can, but there was a lot of material to cover, so I apologize if it extends past 10 minutes. I will do my best to keep it short. In Season 2, Stormbringer is going to be a ship that you can craft through the free in-game crafting system. You should be able to scrounge up enough mats to craft 2 or 3 of these for free within the first week of gameplay, okay? If you are like me and you don't want to spend a week waiting for a beautiful ship, you can also purchase the in-game pack and get the legendary Stormbringer, all yours, immediately for the pack. Okay, you can also purchase the crafting materials in other packs if you want to craft instead of purchasing the pre-built ship. It's up to you. When you are crafting the ship, you can make a blue, a purple, or a legendary version, so keep that in mind. All skills have a blue and a purple and an orange version for the skills. Keep that in mind. If you are crafting a ship, you really want the Vargur's Fury because it is going to give you a tremendous amount of rage generation every 6 seconds if your ship deals damage to an enemy ship suffering from burning or drowning, okay? This ship is also usable for drowning, not just burning, but this video today is talking about the burning blazing build. All right. All the other skills, they are all valuable in different ways. The skills on the pre-built Stormbringer that you can purchase from the $100 pack are the best skills for this build, but there are plenty of different variations that all have their place. All right? So, I'm going to do an entire other video on crafting and what skills to get and things like that. Stay tuned for that. This video is about the burning build. Once you have your Stormbringer built and you are ready to go, we're going to talk about the paid version of this build, and I'll talk about the free version of the build, okay? First off, Lester is going to be your captain. Lester does a tremendous amount of damage. He has a great ultimate that damages 3 enemies. It applies 1 to 3 stacks of burning on all 3 enemies, so you're triggering somewhere between 3 to 9 stacks of burning on the enemies with every ultimate. Burning is going to be dealing 10% of your attack over 8 seconds. It can stack up to 10 times. With just Lester's ult triggering this, let's just assume he triggers it 2 times, which is the average, right? 2 times on all 3 targets. That is 6 stacks of burning. That is 60% damage for 8 seconds. That is a 480% damage output just from DOT, damage over time. Over 8 seconds, if you're averaging 2 stacks per ultimate target on 3 ships, 480% damage, pew, pew, pew. That is going to be further amplified by all of the plus burning damage and damage over time bonuses on your heroes and your ship and your trinkets. And your ship parts. All right. Next, every 11 stacks of burning with a 6-second cooldown, Lester will be inflicting 1 stack of burning on 3 enemy ships. This is going to be a 240% damage over time spread over 8 seconds, every 6 seconds when you do trigger 11 stacks. This is going to be all the time. You're going to be triggering this every 6 to 8 seconds. It is going to be almost on cooldown with the amount of burning stacks you'll be applying with all 3 of your burning heroes, okay? He also has a great ability to, every 15 seconds, trigger a nice damage burst on 5 ships in the enemy fleet when you deal 14 stacks of burning. And his 4th skill is going to be great damage over time that stacks 3 times, okay? He is the best in slot captain. He is the only captain for Blazing in Season 1 and 2. Keep that in mind. You can run Lester at just 2 stars. You can get him 1 time, free to play, run him at 2 stars. You will still deal a tremendous amount of damage from his ultimate, bordering on 1,000% damage every ultimate at level 60 with his ability skill at 191% damage, okay? And you will still be triggering burning stacks on 3 enemies every 6 seconds. You will have a slightly higher requirement for the number of stacks. I think it's 14 at level 1. But just with these 2 skills, you will be dealing the majority of Lester's damage output, so you can run him free to play, and he is going to be the best in slot captain for this build. Okay? If you don't have Lester at all, you can also run Zola. Zola is a captain. She is blazing, and she actually is pretty decent. She hits... It says 2 ships on this ability, and she applies 1 stack of burning, but her 3rd skill actually lets her hit an additional target. So she hits 3 enemy ships for less damage than Lester, but she also applies a stack of burning to each one. She is solid, And her ability here in the middle gives her whole ship increased damage over time. So she is actually pretty competitive with Lester, considering the fact that she's blue and he is legendary, okay? He's going to have much better stats and be stronger overall, but she is not a bad option if you don't have Lester. Tanaka. This is a Season 2 hero. You cannot get Tanaka in Season 1. Tanaka is going to pair with Lester extremely well. Tanaka is going to deal incredible damage to up to 5 ships. He's going to inflict 2 stacks of burning on every ship. To put that in perspective for you, if you're fighting an opponent with 5 ships, you're going to be dealing 600% damage with his burst alone by dealing 120 to 5 ship. That decreases a little bit as the amount of targets hit increase. I get it. So call it 500. He's going to deal a 500 damage nuke to spread amongst 5 ships. He's going to apply 2 stacks of burning to each one. That's 10 stacks of burning. That is a lot of damage times 8. You're looking at 800% damage over 8 seconds. Plus the 500% damage from his nuke. He is now dealing 1,300 damage. He is incredible at damage dealing. The only hero in the game available in Season 2 that deals more damage than Lester is going to be Griffin. I mean, not Lester. Tanaka is going to be Griffin. Griffin is a monster. We'll talk about him. Well, we've already talked about him. Look at my Fearless Princess video. Griffin is insane. However, Tanaka is second in line for top damage dealer in Season 2. He is crazy. Okay? Next, he has some other great skills. He has Foresight, which basically... he can trigger Foresight, which basically will increase his damage over time for his ship by 30%. Incredible. Okay, this is going to stack up over a minute or so, maybe faster depending on his other skill procs. And most importantly, when he has Foresight, he does bonus damage on attack. And at 7 stacks of Foresight, he does bonus damage from his ultimate. And he applies 1 more stack of burning. He's now going to apply 15, if you're hitting a target with 5 ships, he's now applying 15 stacks of burning once he has his Foresight at 7 stacks. Okay? Every ultimate, it's insane. The amount of damage is incredible. It's beyond this world. That is 1,200% damage every ultimate just from burning. Okay? After that, he also has a chance to trigger extended duration of the burning on the enemy ships. And he does more damage over time, has a trigger Foresight on auto attack, and has other great procs. Okay, he is fantastic. If you don't have Tanaka, Will is a great option. Will may be the strongest, or one of the strongest, purple heroes in the game, damage-wise. He puts out phenomenal damage. He applies 2 stacks of burning. He gives great damage over time bonuses for his ship. And if the ship is already damaged from burning, when he does damage to it, burning or drowning, he does another 120% damage. So he does incredible damage being a purple hero and gives great support for the whole ships. There are a few other heroes that are better than him in general as purple heroes, but he is one of the best. He is fantastic. The next option here for your final position on the ship is going to be Ned. He is your gunner. He is the only blazing gunner you can really use in Season 1 or 2. If you don't have Ned, put on a drowning hero. It's not the end of the world if you have Mad Dog on there. You could also run a support. You can also run Django since you're already getting a ton of rage regeneration. You could make some swaps to make this build work. Okay, if you combine Django's incredible rage generation with the ship's incredible rage generation, you could have a crazy amount of stuff going on. Okay, so those are the heroes. Let's talk about the trinkets really quick. I don't want this video to go on too long. Get excited. Here we go. The trinkets, there are a number of things you can run. Okay, the best in slot trinket for Lester is going to be Chain of Bombs. This is a very, very powerful trinket. It does a ton of blazing and drowning damage bonus, okay? And it does a great amount of damage, a 30% chance when you deal damage, okay? A 30% chance when you inflict burning on the target to trigger another bonus attack. Well, guess what? You'll be triggering burning on everybody all the time. This will be proccing on cooldown every 3 seconds. Absolutely. The next great option for Lester, if you don't have that, is going to be what I'm currently running on him, which is the Spyglass. Spyglass is fantastic. It gives straight up attack. Okay, it is going to go ahead and give you stacking attack over the course of the battle. After 15 seconds at no refinement, it is going to give you 6.6 additional damage. So you're now dealing 24.6% bonus attack from this one item. Okay, if you don't have that item, there is another one that you can use. You can combine, you can actually fuse up and merge two purples into the legendary version of the Tyrant's Hand, or you can just purchase the purple Tyrant's Hand from the cartographer's shop, okay, or you can purchase several of these trinkets. Let's go to that now. You can purchase 3 of every one of the purple trinkets in the cartographer's shop, and you should be able to have a ton of these cartographer points just from exploring the Season 2 cities and everything, and the ports and docks. So don't spend these right away. The only thing you might spend them on is if you want to craft a Stormbringer and Warhammer. You can do that also with cartographer points. However, I suggest that you get trinkets because they're amazing. So, back to the trinkets. Where were we? Where am I? I don't know where I went. Let's find Lester. Into the trinkets. Okay, so Spyglass, right? We talked about the bombs as first place, the Spyglass is second place, and then the Tyrant's Hand Legendary, and then Tyrant's Hand Purple. Those are really the best for Lester. The best and only accessory you want to run on Tanaka is going to be the Drifting Wanderer. You can get this in Legendary from the in-game Golden Conches. You can also get this for free from the same saga where you can get Tanaka. I don't know if I talked about that. Let's circle back to the saga for 5 seconds. You can, a few days into the Season 2, get Tanaka for free. You can summon him one time, and at just 2 stars, he still does that incredible amount of damage. He doesn't get his additional bonus stack of burning from his 3rd skill, but he can still deal crazy damage with his 30% damage over time bonus for the whole ship as well. So, get Tanaka for free. Okay, and then get his weapon for free a few days later. Looks like I need to wait 2 days for it. A few days later, you can get a purple version of his weapon, or you can roll in the conches and try and get the gold version of his weapon. It's really up to you. The gold one will obviously be significantly better. However, the purple one's just fine. So this is best in slot for Tanaka. If you don't have Drifting Wanderer for whoever your second commander is, I would recommend using one of those attack-based ones that we talked about a minute ago. Okay, the Cruel Hook is, of course, the purple one, going to be a safe bet if you don't have this, all right? But this does incredible damage because it not only increases the blazing damage on your ship, it deals an incredible amount of damage to 5 ships at a time if you deal 15 stacks of burning, which, as we know, you will be dealing constantly. Every time Lester and Tanaka ults, you will be triggering 1 to 2 of these procs. It is incredible. And the final, thing you want to run, the final trinket, is going to be something defensive. You want something defensive because it's going to have a higher constitution, and armor is pretty important in this part of the game. So I like running the Golden Rudder. If you're going to run something legendary, I run 1 Golden Rudder on almost all of my ships to get great armor and reduce the damage I deal by 7%. The damage I take by 7% every 10 seconds for 3 seconds. But if you don't have this, that is totally fine. You can use the Golden Shield, which gives you great armor. It also increases your aggro, but as long as you have one of these on every ship, who cares? Okay. Oh, and here's Tanaka's Drifting Wanderer, which does great blazing damage at just purple. It's still fantastic, okay? And then, like I was talking about before, you can use the purple version of the shield as well. Very strong. Let's talk about blue trinkets, because there are some good blue trinkets out here, okay? They're all actually pretty solid. I wish the purples had these combined stats, but they don't. But they're all pretty solid. You could use, don't use the healing on your burning heroes, but you could use all 4 of these different blue trinkets, okay? So, that is going to be the ship, that's going to be the heroes, that is going to be the trinkets. Let's talk really quick about optimizing your stats, okay? You already know that I like to have all of my ships with almost the same HP because I would like them to all live until the end of the fight or die at the exact same moment. That way I can deal maximum damage with the entire fleet and have great synergy, okay? That is my always end goal with setting up a build. However, Besides that, Blade of Freedom is going to be the best set there is in the game right now. I do have a Blazing set, but I will tell you if I can find it. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. I actually have a Blazing set. This is not a great Blazing artifact figurehead, but Blazing is interesting. I don't hate the Blazing set, but what you have to understand about the Blazing set is if you do go with the Blazing set, you are trading offensive capability for the ability to debuff the enemy and reduce their damage. I leveled up a Blazing set so I could do that. I have it, but I will tell you it is a dramatic drop in damage from Blades of Freedom, because Blade of Freedom gives me 15% impact and 18% attack, okay? So you could run the Blazing set, but just be prepared. You will be dealing a lot less damage, like 20% less damage, maybe a little bit more. You will be reducing the enemy's 5 ships damage by 10%, which is great. There is definitely a place for the set, so if you have those items, save them, get them ready. But for now, use Blade of Freedom. Go ahead and go for critical rate. Since you have so many ticks of so many things happening all the time, okay, on so many enemy ships, run critical rate. You'll be just a dazzling display of critical strike dot hits. It's going to be incredible, okay? From there, your basic attack bonuses, You could run damage bonus on this as well. You could run blazing damage bonus on this as well. Might be slightly better if you happen to have that. And then HP bonus on your sail. Really, this depends on the health of your other ships. Okay, like I said, you want to be pretty close to your other ships. You don't want one of your ships to drop off the fleet really quickly, and then you're down a ship for the whole fight. You want them all to survive about the same rate and live towards the end of the fight, and then all die at one time to maximize your effectiveness. Therefore, if you need to run HP, you decide. If not, you could run with something else. Okay, you could put some armor in there and make a tankier ship. I mean, it just depends where you're at. So you make the decision, but that is going to be HP for me, okay? And that is how we figure that. The stats that I'm running right now, strength is obviously crazy valuable. Attack bonuses is valuable. Blazing directly deals damage based on your attack. Keep in mind your attack has a 0.7 coefficient, while blazing should be 100%, should be a 1.0. And again, critical strike rate and critical damage are a big deal, okay? Burning damage is also incredible, so don't forget about that. Make sure you get as much of that as you can as you optimize into the season specializations. As you can see here, in my season specialization, so far I'm running 14.4% bonus burning damage and 20% cutthroat damage. I would like to switch this up a little bit and have some strategy in here, but currently I've only unlocked the first 5 out of the 10 or 15 gems or whatever we have to do. Okay, so that is the video, folks. I tried to keep this as short as I can. I realize now we're at 18 minutes. If you have enjoyed this guide, I covered paid, I covered free-to-play, we talked about the Season 1 version of this, right? Obviously no trinkets, no Season 2 hero. You're going to put Will in there instead of Tanaka, okay? And you are going to run with Blade of Freedom set either way. So, like and subscribe. Randy out.